What's up everybody, it's Desert Fox and welcome to another episode of Straight Out of the Box. This is a series where I get an airsoft gun from a retailer, open it up right in front of you, and I just give you guys my opinion of that gun. Today we're taking a look at the ASG CZ-P09 in Urban Gray. Now I have covered this gun before in several other videos, but ASG has made a couple of small improvements or changes, if you will, to the P09 wearing the gray dress. The CZ-P09 accepts two different types of power, CO2 or green gas. I believe the version that we're going to open today is the CO2 version. Like I said, I haven't opened the box, so I don't know. When you open up the box, everything is wrapped up, which is great. If you're getting this shipped to your house, that means it's going to be protected from the elements. If for whatever reason it's exposed to the elements, stuff happens. I'm just going to say that. We've got the gun, which is wrapped in plastic. We've got a rear sight and another front sight here in this little bag. We've got an Allen wrench or Allen key. So this is definitely the CO2 version if this is in the box. And we've got a thread protector for the threaded barrel. And then we've got a little box of BBs. That's what was rattling around in there. And of course you get the user manual. Manuals are super duper overlooked in my opinion when it comes to airsoft guns. Every gun should have a comprehensive manual in my opinion. A lot of times people are buying these guns for the first time and it's the first time they've kind of maybe even owned a gun of any sort, whether it be paintball gun, airsoft gun, or real gun. Just knowing how to operate your gun is crucial. And if it doesn't come with a manual, I worry.
It was loaded and I shot at my computer screen.
Now that we've gone over the contents of the box, let's take a look at the gun itself. So just looking at the gun, we can see that it has a threaded barrel, a rail system on the low rail. We've got a straight trigger, bigger trigger guard. The grip is stippled to an extent. It does have like some nice grooves and such. Little dot grooves on the front for better grip. If you have small hands, you can replace this rear piece here on the grip. Now, one of the changes is the sights. You'll see that the sights are raised up really high. And the reason for that is a lot of people like to use tracer units or suppressors on this gun. And when you've got the regular sights on there, you really couldn't use your iron sights to aim. So ASG has provided everyone with raised iron sights so that way we can use our tracer units and suppressors and be able to shoot somewhat more accurately. Like I said earlier, this is the Urban Gray frame. The top slide is full metal and is black. Let's take the magazine out. CO2 powered magazine. You can tell because this big empty space, this is where the CO2 will go. We'll go over that in a second. Front of the magazine, simply push down. There isn't a locking mechanism on this. However, it does have a space down toward the bottom of the magazine to fill your BBs, either just using your fingers or speed loader. Let me grab some CO2 and we'll gas this thing up. CO2 I'm using is Umarex CO2. You can get this wherever Umarex products are sold, or you can just be like me and get it at eBay. Okay, now we've got the moment of truth. Will the magazine leak or is it not gonna leak? Because it's always a bummer to get a green gas gun or a CO2 gun shipped to you, any kind of gas power gun shipped to you, or you get it at the store. Maybe you didn't test it at the store and you fill it with the green gas or the CO2 and the magazine leaks. So hopefully this doesn't leak. Now the CO2 cartridge can only go in one way in the magazine, which is this way, right here. It'll insert right in there. If you try to do it the other way, nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna insert the CO2 in and then using the Allen key, the bottom, I'm gonna screw this in. This is gonna puncture CO2. Hey, the magazine is not leaking. All right, awesome. Let's take a look at the gun a little bit more. Okay, so let's rack this thing, make sure it racks. Racks very nice. Check the slide catch. The slide catch works. Slide release works as intended. It does have a safety, which is here. Test the safety. Safety works. I do like the frame of the CZ-P09. As I said, I have covered this gun before, so this isn't a complete straight out of the box. I just wanted to share some of the differences with you, and this is also an awesome gun. The frame of the CZ-P09 is very nice to handle. It's got these nice little grooves here, so when you're setting your thumb, you've got some place to put them. It's a lot harder to accidentally bump the slide catch when you know you've got some grooves for your fingers to go. All right, so let's load this bad boy up and take a few test shots. There are no BBs in the magazine. We're gonna open the chamber again, make sure there are no BBs in the chamber. As you can see, not really, but you get the idea. There's no BBs in here. I've double checked now, triple checked. Magazine in, gun is locked to the rear because there's no BBs in there. I'm gonna send the slide forward. Slide is forward. Now for this, I'm gonna hold the slide catch down so we can get some shots off. Shoots really nice. Now I'm gonna fire a shot without holding the slide catch down. Make sure this locks to the rear. And it does. Excellent. Let's try it one more time. All right, slide locks back, so the gun is working properly as hoped. To disassemble the gun, you are simply just going to push this little piece right here forward, this little button, and it comes out like so. Take the slide it back a little bit, and then forward. The hop up is, actually let's check the manual, because that looks like it's the hop up. Yeah, I think the hop up was different on the other CZ, but this hop up looks a lot better. The hop up adjustment is this little screw right here. See if I can move this with just my hands. Oh no, I can't. You definitely are gonna have to use a tool to adjust the hop up, which is good and bad. It's bad in a sense that now you've got to make sure you've got a tool for that. So if you're not a person who carries tools on you, that's one more thing to remember or forget. It's good in a sense that once you adjust the hop up to whatever weight BB you're using, you know it's gonna stay because there's no way this can jiggle around. I'm sure that's gonna be pretty tight once I get it adjusted. Everything looks great inside. There's no rust, or it doesn't look like there's any damage. The inside looks pretty well oiled, which is great. It's not good when you get a gun and it's completely dry inside of it. To put the gun back together, line up the guide rails to the slide, bring it all the way back. Ooh. Sorry, not all the way back. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I went too far. Oh God. Oh, I messed up. Yep, I totally messed up. I went too far back on it. Let's see if we can correct this. There we go, there we go. Okay, we've almost got it. There we go. All right. Woo. Okay, so when you put this back together, don't go all the way back, unlike some other guns where you need to go all the way back and then forward. Take the body pin, reinsert it back in. Now let's check it to make sure I put it back together properly. We're gonna rack the slide, make sure it doesn't come flying forward. Okay, that's a great sign. I'm gonna squeeze the trigger, make sure it clicks. Okay, it clicks. We're gonna rack it one more time, do it again. Okay, now we're gonna take the mag, insert it back in. Again, there are no BBs. All right, locked back to the rear. Everything's looking good. Now let's fire it. All right, cool. So we took it apart, had a little problem getting it back together, corrected the problem, and it's still working fine. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna grab the chrono and some BBs. We're gonna take this thing outside and give it a test fire. The FPS is dropping because the CO2 is getting cold. As we already knew, the CZ-P09 did well during the test fire and the chrono. Again, there is a little dip in the FPS because as we fire, the air in the CO2 lessens and it's got to equalize and all this other stuff. So obviously that's not a big deal. So like I said before, I've already used this gun, so it's not really a straight out of the box, but I will say the Urban Gray is just as good, maybe even a little bit better just because of these raised sights than the older model CZ-P09 in tan and black. Not much more to say about the CZ-P09 in Urban Gray. Definitely pick one up if you're looking to buy one of these. That's gonna wrap up this episode of Straight Out of the Box. As always, this is Jet Desert Fox, and I'll see you on the field. Hey, that rhymed. Right, everyone agree?